Hello. So I had a delay in my camera. Well, I gotta give you a testimony, and it was I was looking at one of the sites I was looking at was this one guy. He called himself the Black Filipino TV. Uh, uh, this is his, and quite a bit on the Philippine the Philippines and the women from the Philippines and the people in general in the Philippines. Um, I don't know if I mentioned to you on my one video where I was saying on my video that don't really how I met this one Filipino woman that her friend I was associated with this one guy that was her that was a friend that was about to be her fiance, and how he kind of hooked me up with her to get see if I can meet a nice young lady from the Philippines. And this is back in the mid and late mid I'd say about middle 90s. This is around about 90 I think 94 95, right about there. um and I was pretty excited to get the chance to write with somebody. I would send her videotapes of myself to see what kind of man that I am in person. So I would mail my videotape to the Philippines so she have a good idea of what I look like. And her parents worked for her parents. The woman I was talking to was working. The woman that was introduced from this guy that was associate that was supposed to marry her over. But it didn't work out. She went out and turned out. I think she's probably a doctor somewhere, probably out west somewhere. So I've been writing off and on to this woman for about a couple of years, and I told you the story. I kind of blew it because I was just taking my time, and I guess I wasn't really taking it seriously at the time. I was about 24, 25 years old. I was just excited, and I was looking forward to going over there, but I don't know. You just get caught up in the risk with the American woman, thinking that you're going to meet somebody over here. But every time I met someone over here, from back in that time, it's never been a good outcome. So this one time, I was I went on a job company, and they had a strike security team out there in California, and the part of California I was in was called Corona, California. This was in 1995, and it was like we had a strike team they sent them all over the country and so I was sent out there with a group of guys, and we landed in Los Angeles, and then they take you from there. Then we end up staying at a hotel in Upland. Upland was one of the sites. Then the thing was Upland, Irvine. Well, those who are familiar with CalMat, it's the concrete company out there. I don't know if they're still in business now. I think they should be. But anyway, while I was out there, and I think I mentioned to you that I met a couple people who were a Filipina and a Filipino. The Filipino guy he was on our strike security team. He was pretty cool, real cool dude, but he drove like a nut on he drove like a nut driving down. That young man scared the crap out of me driving up on, because we would go down the 5 freeway out there, and out there in California, out there outside LA, man, this is like people, they hammer it out there. It's a whole different driving pattern out there in California. So so he was a pretty cool dude, and so we got to know each other. And so on the way, we were talking, and he told me he was, his family, where he's from, and his family from the Philippines. And I said, "Oh wow, I have a young lady that will write to the Philippines, and you would never believe this, guys. What are the chances was this happening that his family stayed over in the Philippines, native Filipinos. They stayed next door to the family that the woman I was talking to, and they was able to speak in the native Tagalog. I think that's the right pronunciation. And they were talking back and forth, and I got a chance to talk with them for a brief couple of seconds. So she went next door to her friend and say, "Hey, this American guy want to talk to you." So it's like we got a chance to talk, but it was really amazing how that was. I wish I could have kept pursuing that. I probably would, if I'd have had enough time and my resources, I probably could have got back over there in the late 90s and probably would have been together to this day. And another time I met another person that she was Filipino. Like, I'm out in California, so I mean, you got people from Thailand, you got people from Singapore, you got people from Vietnam, so they look somewhat similar, but you just never know. But I just happen to make a conversation with them. If you don't want to call somebody, you think somebody could be from Thailand, you don't want to call them a Filipino, and a Filipino in Thailand, and I don't know how that would go too well over there. But anyway, she happened to be a Filipina, and she said, "Oh." She looked at her one time and, "Oh, she without me saying anything, she said she Filipina," and I was kind of shocked. Like, I want to say, how did you know? How did you know that? Because I mean, it could have been a woman from Thailand, a woman from Cambodia. They look similar in features, and so, but she was a real nice woman. She was a manager, and she overstepped out there, and it was in Corona, California. So she managed a hotel, and she had workers up underneath her and stuff like that. And she can speak English, and she can speak. Some of them can speak Spanish. They're very, very fluent in Spanish and English, and in their native tongue. So the people in the Philippines can speak about 2 or 3 different languages that I know, because I think the Spaniards were over there at one time. That's why certain parts of the Philippines got women, they got Spanish last names. But that was really interesting, and how they could speak that, and then over at the same time, during the early part of the 1900s, the Americans came over and set up base around the Philippines. But I find it was really intriguing to meet somebody whose family, I mean, what are the odds to meet somebody whose family member who stayed next to the person, the woman that you're talking to, and they was able to live in the same block over, I believe, in Manila, and lived in the same block. I mean, you know how many people probably in Manila, that's probably one of the most highly popular population of people over there in the Philippines. So the chances could be slim to none. It could be a half of a quarter million or more, maybe even more than that over there, because it's other than the other islands over there. So that was one way, and we would write back and forth, and this is where I'm going to dispel the myth, because people think that they're a bunch of poor. No, these wasn't no poor people, because the woman I was talking to in the Philippines, I think her brother was a councilman, her aunt was a teacher, and they had some really good, one worked in the government, something like that. So I don't know what people get this myth that the Filipinos are just, no, they're some very smart people. They're very smart. And I recall when my uncle was living one time, he was in the military, and I told him about going to the Philippines. He lit up. I mean, he lit up, and he was like, "Wow, oh, you going up there?" And he said something in a native tongue and everything, and and he so you could tell he's been over there. My Uncle Hoover before he passed away, but he said just one of these things. He said just don't. And he had a real serious look. He said don't abuse them. Whatever you do, do not abuse a Philippine woman. And I said, whoa. And he had this really serious look. I don't know what happened. A man abused a woman, but it was not so nice of an outcome over there in the Philippines. Put it that way. But he was saying how nice they were, how the people over there were nice and sweet, and I'm like, wow. And I've heard a lot of good reports about the Philippines. Because I was really did. I had about 5-6 books on different people on about the Philippines. In fact, there was another. At the time, I was writing to a woman, and mysteriously, this other woman wrote to me from Cebu. And I don't know because I never wrote to this woman. I don't know how she was able to get my address and send me something to the. Well, I don't know. Something happened where I cut off communication with her and everything. But yeah, the Philippines is it's some nice people, man. I mean, they're really cool people. The ones I met that I came across in America when I was out there in L.A. Outside L.A., it was like. So I don't know. I never had no problem, and I never had anything bad about. That's why I was really shocked that some people what they say, and really, all I heard was that from people from black and whites who've been over to the Philippines, they say that they're very family oriented. In which that's good. It's something that some families in America we lack in, where they have a strength in numbers, and loyalty to family is one of the things. Well, majority of the Filipinos, and I was really amazed. But that's why when I heard about the passport bros going over there and some of these bitter women getting mad at these women who are in the Philippines and saying that they're poor and uneducated and that they don't understand and things like that. I'm like, that's a lie. Because the woman that I knew that introduced me to a friend was a doctor, and she had her parents had money. That's how she's able to get to the States, and she was over on, I believe, a scholarship. So she was very. She's probably close to. Who knows? She could be a surgeon by now, for all I know. But this dude really messed this up with this woman, man. And I'm like, man. And I knew he was a knucklehead anyway, because he's kind of he's trying to be a controlling kind of guy, but he was very immature in ways because he kept on wanting to go with younger women, and I had to cut ties with him. But we remained, and she gave me a few numbers to write to, and at the time, I wrote to a couple of her friends, but only person that responded to me was the one in the Philippines. And so that's how I get. But what are the chances was that to happen, to meet somebody from the Philippines? Things is near the one. But the good report is that from what I understood and from what my experience meets the couple one people I met from the Philippines over here when I was in California. Never met no Filipino from that came in, but they are here in Ohio. But I never met any. But yeah, they're very nice people, and so from I understand that it's it's a different way of life, like anywhere else over there, and for someone to kind of mock them and pick at them, and like women in Thailand, in places like that. There's 3 things you gotta do probably over there that they mostly do is work. They want to get out and work. They want to because they want to take care of their house, and they want to lead them to Providence and things to go to school or go to the university and get a better job and so they could send money back to their family in the Providence or whatever. Just like most people do around the world. I mean, it's not just in the Philippines, but Thailand and other places, and even when you come over to different parts of Latin America and Africa, they send money back to the family because sometimes the family's money structure isn't like our structure as far as money. Because you get so many, a dollar out so many pesos and things like that, and it's the same way in Mexico and different places around. So somebody, it's kind of arrogant for somebody to sit up there and say, "Oh, these women are poor. They don't know what they're doing. They're stupid." And I was suspecting it was going to get some backlash, but this is what happened, and I'm gonna give my testimony. Let him tell you.
Firecrackers. Most Filipinos are not pushovers, so they don't need your help. And same thing I said before in a video months ago, right? And I actually used help in that video, where she told women in America, pretty much the feminist movement, we don't need your help. So they want you to stop talking about them. And I think it would be best to understand and realize who you're talking about. Guys, even yesterday, right? Even yesterday, I get comments. You go to a below poverty country and give them a few dollars to show your love is sad. If the same woman had the choice, they would pick their own men. Emotional, damn it! Most Filipinos do pick their own men. You have certain Filipinos that don't mind dating foreigners, right? Especially ones that end up dealing with bad Filipinos and continuously happen. The reason why a very small amount, because a small amount of say if it's 60 million women, is a lot. Even if it's 0.01%, right? I'm sure it's more than that, but still a lot of women. And the women that don't mind dealing with foreigners, they love us for that reason, and we love them for what they give, even exchange, right? Faithful to us, take care of us, faithful to you, take care of you. Same thing we want from you. So, the best thing would be to do, don't get on TikTok anymore.
Please stop, you're just embarrassing yourself.
Don't talk about women in the Philippines anymore. Don't talk about women in Thailand. Don't talk about women in Colombia, Brazil, anywhere, right? Start paying attention to what guys are saying.
Right.
Start listening to women that are giving great advice. Start listening to women who are reacting and telling you, girls. You even have women in the States right now, right, that are Spanish, that are making videos telling you this is where the problem is. Even other videos, women telling you this is where the issue is. Focus on your man and do what you need to do. Because if you don't do that and start being like the other women that are still back home that are doing it, it's going to be hard. When is already here for a lot of women? The best thing to do, we say, you know what? Let me stop talking about these guys. Let me stop talking about going on TikTok, talking about these guys, talking about the women in other countries, and focus on me and the women here. That's when things are going to get better. That's when things will change for you. Other than that, you keep talking, I can react to you all day. Guys, see you next video. Thanks for watching the channel, and be sure to check out other content. We're going to have a lot more condo videos for you guys coming soon.
But I'm gonna stop it right here. And yeah, and the women, because I was checking out the website. There's one Filipino site, because I was thinking about going back over and talking to another woman, and I was surprised. Like a lot of women over there, some older, my age, some of my age, because I'm in my 50s, and some women are in their 60s, and some of them still look good for their age, and they still, a lot of, my heart goes out to a lot of women that lost their husbands, and some like women over here, do they lose their husbands, their boyfriends to either get a divorce or or something particular happen, and my heart goes out to them. But and really, a lot of women want a husband, from old to young over there. They want a husband. They don't want no guy. They don't want to play around with no guy, multiple guys over like they do over here. From what I gather over there, they not on to the, not many of them that I've come across seem like they on to the mind game. You might have a few women, you might have a few that trying to get what they can get, but majority of women I say over there, look, from what I gathered, look like they want a husband. Especially the older women, they want a husband, and they want a husband. I can tell. When I put, cause I put my picture, and you have, man, I'm not lying. You have women, and they look good somewhere in their 60s, 70s, but they were willing to they just want a man in their life. They really want a husband. It's like they want a partner. It ain't about no play thing. And a lot of them, like the myth is that that they want you for your money. No, there's some women not every woman is the same. Even though you have women, there might be a small percentage of women like in any other part of the world. You got some mischievous, but they'll kind of point that out to you. But what if you got a woman that's acting immature, that act like she's not serious, you got 10, 20, 30 other women over there that will take you up. And I was really, really shocked. But it's another thing about over there in the Philippines, that they God centered first, spiritually, they with the Most High God through Jesus, the Yeshua. They really, that's saying it a lot. That's one of the main things is priority. So to me, I think that if I would, that would probably be a good place, because not that them other places, they're probably nice people over there, but spiritually, I think the Philippines would be more like my style, because I believe in Christ, I believe in Jesus, and I believe and they're serious about God. Like I said, I would go over there just to meet a wife. I ain't going there trying to get with half the island, whatever. Just go over there and meet your woman and settle down. And that's the best way. Just like you go in any part of the world. I mean, seriously, man. I mean, you find a good woman who you match up with personality-wise. She can put up with your personality. I can put up with her. I can put up with her personality. That's all what matters. But I would say this is that they're very nice women, from what I understood, and hard working women. But what impressed me from what the ones I've seen, that I believe that their family is the main thing. Take care of home, and of course they have to support themselves, work and everything else, but they're about relationship first. We in the West we go the opposite, and I think they care more about family. I'm not saying all, like I said, I'm not saying everybody, but a certain percentage of women here are like it might be a certain percentage of women here about family, and it might be a small percentage about having a husband. Over there, I think it's greater. And I've seen men from all walks, all shapes, all sizes go over there and get some women that will give them a time of day here. And it tells me a lot about their heart, that they really sincere. If you treat them really good and you really can connect, they're not on some superficial stuff. And so it sounds like women there in Thailand, and it sounds like in them other places, and even over, I believe, certain places in the continent of Africa are like that. maybe in Latin America is like that. That this is not so much superficial things, and I think that's what the passport bros were pointing out. But when you hear all these superficial women and their feministic ideas, and it turn offs and it's telling you your income, even though you have a job, you're able to take care of your home, but it's not going to be to their standards. Oh, you need to spoil the crap out of me. And you have women over there that all I just want is the companion. I want is the man. That she can work, but she just want herself a man. And I think that over there, they a good percentage of them ready to settle down. From what I gathered, they're not playing no games. And I don't think money is a big thing with everything over there. Because I think, and even with the cost of living, and there are some men that go over there that make a good substantial amount of money, but I think that they humble with it. And they're about to be blessed because even though the income of them, but they have men over there that are able to cover and live nicely in the Philippines, in Thailand, in Vietnam, for what I understood. In Cambodia, they live over there. But that's Southeast Asia. Some people like Korea, South Korea. But I personally, yeah, and it's like they're not superficial. I don't think women trying to play no head games, and they're not trying to be, you don't have, I don't hear about too many women having 3 or 4 players over 3 or 4 doing. It might be, there's a very few cases I heard about a woman like they do over in America. They'll have one guy for the nice guy, one guy that they a bad boy, and one guy for this and one guy for that. I never heard too many guys talk about that over in Thailand, the women in Thailand and the Philippines. So that what makes them set them out. So they're more about, hey, I need to settle down. I got a good man. We match up with personality, and he just treat me right. Boom. Man, they coming out the winner because even though, and he come uplift her out of her situation, make her life, and she appreciate it more. So the average man that would get a time of day here, they get the best of the men who average over men that not very attractive looking, or the income is not very attractive, or whatever it is not attractive. They look for something deeper over there than they do over here. That's why those women are going to make out better. And the men are flying over there, and they're being advised to come over and stay over there. Make sure you have enough income to live over there, and make sure you can be able to come back and forth. That's the only thing. And retire and have enough income to have a house and the wife. And these women are upset about that because some of these guys most of them have upward mobility to go. So, yes, but I can understand why they're leaving. And like I said, I would, if you're a younger man, I would go. If you're a man in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, go ahead and go, man. If you've been joked around, nice guy around, put to a side, oh, you'll find you find somebody, and they don't know what. Go to some other part of the world where basically they know what love is. They want to be in love. They want to express their love. Yes, they've been hurt like any other woman on the planet. Yes, there's guys that played them, left them for pregnant. They ain't out being bitter and hateful and stuff like that. They had a bad, rough time, but they're not bitter, and they ain't gonna try to take it on the next man. Women here, that happen to some percentage of women here. They get bitter. They're going. A good man would come along, they'll run him off because they'll fault him because of what a man who they really fell for, but they really don't have feelings for this man because he works too much. He's not a certain type that they really make him feel desirable or excited. And so if I feel like I'm one of these dudes, I feel like I'm not desirable and excited, let me go someplace where I feel like I'm desirable and excited. If you don't find me handsome, I go someplace someone do that I find her attractive, she find me attractive. And I made the biggest mistake. So if you got a woman over in another part of the world, you go. And you've been trying, and you wasted your time like I did trying to chase around women that obviously trying to find a woman here, and you have to go over these mountains and go all through these things and thinking that you got to be put past aside, and you have to go through these changes on how you got to talk to these women. You got to flip your personality around and all this, and step out your norm, because you got one thing, you got to be nice, and next thing be a psychopath in order to get their attention. Then it's time to go. It's too much. And what we've been taught in the West, and you got to throw this kind of game. You got to throw this kind of game. It's like you get to the point that, and this is what I've dealt with, and it's like it gets discouraged. It gets frustrating, discouraging, and so you say the heck with it. So what the passport guys did was basically they threw a lever of hope. They threw a lever, and they're encouraging guys that maybe their confidence was destroyed, or they just got discouraged, because this is what we see here in America. We see women in America. This is what they pretty much telling us. You ain't the 6-figure guy. You ain't 6 feet tall. You ain't this, and you ain't. You don't have a little edge on you. You gotta be rough around the edges. You gotta have a record. I need you to put me in check. I need you to be a little bad boy. Otherwise, be a ninja if you're black. You're a ninja, and not a black man, a ninja. You understand interpretation. So it's like, why do I need to go through all that? I got to change up my personality. So that's the pressure that I understand how some men go through. And so that's why the men are exiting. And like I said, then you have this thing with the feminist thing. You got women are too controlling. You know what I'm saying? They talk to you like you somebody off the street. They mommy styles you. They ridicule you, and they don't know how to be a companion. Well, maybe in the Philippines and Thailand and other places, the women, they won't make you feel like you a boy. They don't make you feel like they're not gonna talk to you like you're a little boy, or just nag at you to the point that the majority they know how to respect a man. In regards to your personality, there's times you be firm, and I understand being firm, but she know the difference. You ain't gotta go overboard, be superly aggressive. No, shut the hell up. You ain't got to put her in check, so to speak. Like, you got to be super aggression, like you do women here. And women, it's almost like they expect it. If you don't, they don't respect it. And I think that's just too much, man. So I understand. That's why I said I don't understand why you have other dudes trying to shame other dudes. And my solution to the other dudes, well, you deal with those women. Well, it's just that you ain't got no game. Well, you deal with the consequences. But not every man wants to deal with that. Not every man wants to go and deal with game. Because you ain't got no game. No, I'm ready to get sold out. The hell with the damn game. When you get to a certain point in your life, you don't want to go through all that. Either you with somebody or you're attracted to somebody. But if your personality, I'm not changing up trying to act like I'm some dude from the streets just to appease you. If I'm sound like I'm too white for you, if it was a black woman, then hey, I go to a woman that would want me for the intelligence that I am, the way how I am, the way I express myself. If it's not right or not what you expect, you ain't a real ninja. Then it's like okay, you know, it's like you're a nice person, but you ain't rough around the edges. Okay, I go. I'm one who like, okay, there's other women, and most guys, and some guys are getting the kind of mindset I do. It's other women on the side of the planet, and it's funny because some women thinking that they want all that attention, the ones that be rushing to on video on TikTok. They can't understand it because I was one dudes with my personalities, and that are some are really good, nice guys. They didn't play. Now and then they just practically destroy some of their confidence, and some men just get discouraged. Some men don't want to talk no more. Some men just cut off, and some. But you have some men say, "Hey, man, you don't focus on the women. Get your money right. Get your body right. Get your money, and get your passport. And what they don't find you desirable here, they'll find you desirable somewhere else." You'll find them. But and you have some. Well, you'll find somebody. Well, I've been waiting around for. Well, no. And I made my mistake, and I passed up in my earlier years. I could have been with a Filipino woman right now, because I was being young and not thinking about it, thinking I'm gonna be missing out something. So you're a young man in your 20s and 30s, man. You get a good woman, and she from the Philippines, Thailand, some parts of Africa. Snatch her up. Especially she could be a wife material, and she's a good person, stand by you, and you ain't gotta go over the top and be some ninja. She really want a black man if you're a black man, but she don't want a ninja like it's headed into our culture, into the culture, because that's the only way some people respond. And or you're a bad boy. Okay, if you're a bad boy, this can go for anybody. You gotta have tattoos and all this stuff, and no, man, you ain't got to be succumbed to that. And what men are saying to other men is like, it ain't over, bro. Hey, there's other women on the other side of the planet, and if these women that act like they don't want to be bothered and they want to be shift changing, then let's go, cause they about to get a wake up call. And I showed studies on a previous video. In 2030, there gonna be 10 times single women in this country. You're gonna see a whole segment of single women, and the women that you done put down in Thailand, the Philippines, and the other places, they're gonna get the men. And in even parts of Africa, they're gonna get the men that they never had a husband. They're gonna have a husband from either Europe, America, or one of them countries, because till a portion of women get it here, understand it takes two to make a relationship. And if and like I said, if it's some woman attracted to me, well, I may look busted and disgusted to somebody. I may look busted and disgusted to you, but somebody might find me attracted in another part of the world. And I never thought about that as a man. But this Western continent have you think it's just, and that's what men, passport brothers, are saying. It's not all. And the thing about some American women from all walks of life is that they scared of competition, and they throw up these defensive mechanism. Some of them, that they try to scare you and say and certain things happen to men or a woman overseas. There's certain things that happen. But like one guy was saying, things can happen to you here in America. Things can happen to you right here in the good old U.S. of A. A woman can set you up. I've seen cases here where women set men up, and it cost them their lives, like it was here, like it's over in a place like Colombia. You have women here that doing the same thing, set dudes up. And like I said, was this one dude was from St. Croix. He met this young lady from online. They lived in Cleveland. He lived in Cleveland, Ohio. His mother worked at the hospital. He used Tinder to meet a young lady out there in America, black American. Well, she was a black American woman, and she caused him to. She robbed him. She took his car. She took his phone, and she took his jewelry. This happened right here in the United States, just as well as like you would probably see overseas. And had some dude robbed him. Then and I believe that she shot him in the head. And from what I heard, he was a real nice guy. His mom was he was a good, hard-working young man and everything. And he just wanted a girlfriend. But she's one of the girlfriends that she liked that life. Dude been locked up, murdered somebody, robbed somebody. Because that's a real man to her. Getting shot, beat up, and cops getting called on. You got someone that like that stuff. So why as a man would I want something like that? That's just saying. There's some women that are like that here. And you got women that's too controlling, they're manipulating, they try to control you, manipulate you, once you're in a relationship with them. Who wants to deal with that? Some women don't respect who you are as a man. The man has the role. And every man wants to feel appreciated. Every man wants to, like a woman wants to feel appreciated. A man wants to be appreciated too. A man, you just nice, but just wait around for another 10, 20 years when I get my mind made up. And then, hey, you want me now after 5, 10 years? And then after you see her 5, 10 years later, when she been through 2 or 3 dudes, and now, because it didn't work out, now you what they call the cleanup man. Now she finally wakes up. So some guy said, too late. Go find another dude, and if she did do it, some women never learn, because even when they get to in their 40s and 50s, they still expecting like in their 20s and 30s, they want a thuggo or a bad boy. So it is what it is, but yeah. But if a young man listens to this video, man, you a man, go ahead, man. And women didn't find you attractive here because they say you nerdy, you geeky, you lame, and square and all that. Hey, man, go over to another part of the world. The heck what some of these people say. The heck with what they say. Shit. Well, women over here, you already know how the women over here are. They're too entitled. I'm educated. But when when the good men go behind the second wave of men leave, and they get the income up like the first wave of men, they start waking up. But till then, let them have their feminism. And it's like I saw one woman. It's like she got so much alpha. She had talk more like a dude with the foul language and stuff like that. On these passport brothers going over there, it's like, well, dang, why don't you just go get another woman? What you could complain about? Some of these women are more masculine than men, or complaining about men, but they're just about as masculine. Was telling me that, okay, are you a lesbian or something like that? It's like, if you a lesbian, then okay, why you worried? Then already you're not attracted to a man, or you're not thinking about a man, and lesbians ain't worried about it because a lesbian wants another woman. So, and that's fine. That's what it is. Let's go over and get straight women for straight men. But they got that masculine tomboyish attitude and stuff. Hey, dude, I'm just saying, I don't know what them chicks over here want you to do, man. I'm telling you, you man. It was like, dang. Because you about to hit in between her legs and stuff. I ain't going to say the word, but like, dang. But anyway, yeah, that's my testimony about. But yeah, but I've been thinking about it. If I, get my funds up, hey, I might go. It might be the next one going too. But all right then, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time, I'm trying to shorten it down because mine's kind of long. All right then. Yeah, that's my testimony on why I could have been there in the Philippines in the '90s, probably early 2000s, but I blew it. So I hope I second chance around. But if I do, hey, if I find me one, that's fine. And because it's just because the women over there, they're ready. I'm at a point in my life. You want somebody, and you get to a certain age, you want somebody to have a companion. You don't want to sleep with everybody on the planet. Not with everything, all these viruses and diseases and stuff. One woman's good for me. I ain't trying to sleep with half the women on the planet. Forget that crap. But anyway, all right then, guys. Didn't mean to carry on this long, but yeah, you men, you get out there, go get your wife. You can't find her here. Get your passport. Get your passport. Get your money up. Make sure you have enough money to go to and from, and go have a good time. Don't worry about what these women say. They'll wake up when a good percentage are exited, and it's going to be slim to none. And they can go back and chase their babies' daddies who they had kids with, and as he's been locked up, someone's been locked up for a while, and that's their real man right there. So anyway, till next time, take care.